No woman should attempt surrogacy except she no longer has a womb or for some reason she's unable to have children. Lies! Quick backstory. The other day I did a post and said if you're over 30, you're single and you want to have children in future, please freeze your eggs and every other thing I said. Internet people came for me. They said, Ife, people are poor, there's poverty in the land, not many people can afford it, even after I had said this thing is expensive. Okay, listen, I'm about to trigger the internet people again. If you're a woman, you have no fertility complications, you can carry a child to term, and you decide by yourself that you don't want to do that and you want to use a surrogate instead, your decisions are valid. You don't owe anybody any medical report, apology, or an explanation. Let's make the story personal here. I have a womb, I don't have any fertility complications, I'm perfectly healthy, but I'm still going to use a surrogate. I know many people are genuinely...
Okay. All right, you heard all of that. All right, joining us for the second time on the show is Funmi Akinshola, a seasoned media personality. You heard what she had to say about surrogacy. Now, we know what's been going on, buzzing around town. Let's talk about surrogacy.
Okay.
Many people have different opinions about it. And I want to find out from you guys what your thoughts are.
I always wanted to adopt, but I never got the chance to do it. Surrogacy, it's still your child, but it's just that the substratum of fertilization happens to be another person. Maybe your wife has complications and all that. And then you do it, but the DNA of the child is yours.
Remains as yours, yeah.
It's just like pollination, the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma. It just goes like that, and fertilization occurs, and the flower is given birth to. The flower of a plant is actually the fruit.
Exactly.
It's actually the fruit. So what I'm trying to say is surrogacy. Why are people making a mountain out of a molehill? I would do it in a second.
Okay, but you're a man.
Yeah. I mean, if from
a man's point of view,
surrogacy. You can't force it. I'm okay with the man, but you can't force it on the woman if she doesn't want to do it.
Exactly.
No, you can't do it. But if the woman says so, scientifically, the child is yours.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the DNA, if they use the woman's eggs, and they use your semen, and they fertilize, it's just the chamber.
That is...
Yeah, it's just like you taking wine and say, I love this wine bottle. It's not about the bottle.
It's about the content, the wine itself.
That's it.
All right, so we have Funmi Akinshola joining us via Zoom. Hello, Funmi.
Hello, Frank.
Hi, good evening.
Hello, Funmi. How are you doing?
Hi, so, Funmi, we've got Moyo, we've got Frank, and of course, Tien Gang in the studio. And yes, we saw your... we want to share your thoughts on surrogacy.
Yeah. So I agree with Frank on this. And in fact, one of the first things when I was reading about this surrogacy was the example that was given was even in the Bible when Sarah felt she couldn't carry a child, so Hagar to carry a child from her husband until she eventually now had the child of promise. So I don't even understand the buzz, because every time when it has to do with women and having children, there's always one thing or the other. If it's not vaginal birth, then it's a CS. Now it's a surrogacy, and everybody's postulating up and down. The most important thing is that does the child arrive and healthy? Yes. And for someone like Ife, for example, she's in her 40s, I think. And if you do read about pregnancies in your 40s, it's considered a risky pregnancy if you're 40. If she can afford it, they can have someone that can carry the child for her and is healthy and the baby is here. I don't think it's a bad thing. I know that because sometimes I always feel like people also like to postulate about women's bodies. Even people, I have a 14-year-old, I've carried a pregnancy. Carrying pregnancy, even is work. Even if you're healthy, some people have their way and have somebody else carry that pregnancy, even if they can if they're in the age to carry it, they will, because there's a lot of work having children, even going through your whole monthly cycle and all of that. So for me, the important thing is, does the child arrive healthy, and is the child going to be in a loving, household? That's what is important. How the person chooses to bring the child into the world doesn't make it doesn't make one mother more superior to the other. I know someone also had health challenges, for a while, 13 years she had to wait. She couldn't have children. She had done, surgery, taking out fibroid. Eventually, she had to get somebody else to carry her twins. In fact, she was not even a African. It was an Indian woman that carried her twins. Her story is out there in the, in the internet. An Indian, and the twins look exactly. In fact, the boy looks like her husband, and then the girl looks directly like her because they use her egg and her husband's sperm. So I don't know all this, theory about surrogacy and people postulating up and down. For me, people have a right to choose what is best for them and the children that they want to bring into this world, as long as they're not hurting anybody and they're not creating a baby factory or forcing anyone to go and have, the surrogates. It's yes, I know that the laws in Nigeria are not yet totally firm like in other parts of the world, but the surrogate knows exactly what they're going into. They're going to be paid for it, and there's counseling that goes on. And if the person that chooses to carry their child, bring their child into this world with the surrogate is fine by it, and their partner is fine by it, I don't know what the uproar is about. So for me, that's my take.
Olamide,
Okay,
can I just quickly jump in?
Yes, please.
Funmi, I think part of the issue is that surrogacy basically stemmed from some of the complications you mentioned for a woman to be able to carry a child, go through all the stages of carriage and delivery, but now for a healthy woman that has no issue whatsoever, but still decide to go through surrogacy is part of the dilemma that's happening now. So you hear a lot of the my body, my choice situation, which is is basically seen as women running a certain kind of campaign. When it comes to men, we don't have my body, my choice. But when the woman decides, okay, I'm healthy, but for certain personal or selfish reasons, I don't want to carry a baby.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with me. Let somebody else carry my baby.
Okay, are you saying it's wrong?
I can clean it.
No, he's
Okay,
it to
you
her.
just wait. Go ahead,
I
please.
understand it also because I'm thinking that just because I'm just going to use an example. It's not the same example, but I can choose to clean my house. Just because I can clean it doesn't mean I can't hire a cleaner if I want to do that. So everybody has, and look, sorry, it's making
Damn, this is dropping knowledge.
Wow, Funmi,
Wow,
I like
Funmi.
that.
Okay, Funmi, in that case, Funmi, let me present this case.
Oh, that's
we
great.
make it look like it's not like we can stroll into the supermarket to go and buy. It's expensive. Like if I said, if you go and find out how much surrogacy, it's not chicken fees money. It's expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive, but Funmi, I want you to understand this. Funmi,
one thing or the other in the world is abuse. Look, just like when we say social media and phones, there's a good part of it, there's a bad part of it. So if women are going to use it for there's some women that don't even want to have children because they don't want their breasts to fall down, they don't want their stomach to wrinkle and everything.
you're very
Now, if
right.
somebody
It
says,
is
okay,
expensive, and women that can afford it do it. But let me give you an example. Funmi, listen to this example. A woman says it's my body, it's my choice. So I'm married to this man, and this is the reason why marriage is being affected. I don't want to even talk about marriage. But let's say a woman comes out and says, I don't even want to have a baby. I want my husband to sleep with someone else. If she decides to allow her husband to do that, should society now see that as okay? You get where I'm coming from?
Let me tell you.
If she says, because it's supposed to be mutual.
Hold on. You and your partner, what do you want? You see all this one about coming on social media.
Exactly.
That is what I'm saying.
You understand?
Yeah.
People on you and your partner. So before you married your partner with this conversation, it's a different thing if she springs as an
Difficult
absolute
conversations, yeah.
Before you have, because that's the problem also. When you are dating, you're using your mouth to be kissing up and down, you're not communicating. What
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Why is she on the black table?
She brought out the guns.
Are we supposed to have children? How many children do we want? How
Yeah,
many
exactly.
This is an essential conversation we need to have. So it's not a thing of when you do man now finish marrying you, or you two of you now finish marrying yourself, you now wake up like, oh, I don't want to have kids. Oh, I don't want to carry kids.
Yeah.
Let's discuss it now. And
Exactly.
the truth is, honestly, most people already know what they're getting into. You don't know when you now want to cry victim. You now come and say that and say, no. Trust me, if Fair and her partner have already have a conversation, if the guy is good, for me, the only wrong that Fair has done here is coming out on social media to tell you how she wants to bring her child into this world. That's the only wrong I see.
Oh, good.
That's
Now,
between her
Funmi, please.
and God and her
Funmi,
husband. Finish.
Funmi, I want you to
Yes,
understand something.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I'm just placing certain
Go ahead,
scenarios
agree.
because some people at some times don't think about the surrogate mother as well. There are certain conditions that they're put under where they never get to be associated.
It's business.
Okay,
It's
so
a contract.
at this point, guys,
She's paid.
let's hear from Frank and Moyo.
Let me just say this, right? When it comes to surrogacy, right? I personally believe in a woman having full autonomy of her body. because pregnancy is tough. You know, they be spitting everywhere. You know, the baby is basically resting on their bladder. It's not easy, and it's not even about having fertility issues, right? You might be a career woman who doesn't want to take a break, that 9-month break from work, because whether we like it or not, whether you're pregnant and you're working, you cannot work optimally the way you would ordinarily work. There's fatigue. God bless you, my sister. You know, there's fatigue. There's so much things that they have to go through.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. And also, even women who have no underlying health issues, you can't really predict how the thing is going to go.
Yeah.
When I was younger, my mom had like a junior staff who came to stay with us. She was close to giving birth. And this woman just wouldn't stop bleeding. Okay. So she went into labor. She went into labor in our house.
Yeah.
So my mom had to find a way to take her to a private hospital that we use. And the doctor came and I was like, oh my God, she's bleeding and I don't know how to stop it. She had
The doctor said that he didn't know how to stop it.
Yeah, I was going to say some terrible things about the doctor, but he's dead.
No,
now.
you've said.
He's dead now. So I'm going to say rest in peace.
Well,
She had
you killed him.
No, I didn't kill him. Okay. Natural causes. So she had to take her to a general hospital in Badagry, and they had to do blood transmission and stuff like that. This is a woman who went for her antenatals and stuff like that.
Everything was fine.
Everything was fine.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're a woman who has the means, because it's not cheap, if you're a woman who has the means and you want to work and it's going to get in the way of, you have big nose and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't want to make light of the situation because I know it's
Wow.
tough, right?
I mean,
You know,
like,
you have all this.
you're going to be
so you
cancelled,
want-
man.
Yeah, no. But what I'm saying is, if you can afford it, please do it. If my wife comes to me and says, I would rather somebody carry this baby, it's still my sperm. It's
Yeah, it
still
still
her
has-
egg.
exactly.
The baby has no blood relation
So that's
to
the point.
carrier.
If both of you agree and you're okay with it, no problem.
Again, this is a conversation you had before the marriage.
So, no.
Frank, yeah.
My problem is, you guys always thinking about what the public says. Oh, sorry. The public.
Yeah.
See.
the public.
Let me tell you, I told them before, when I got to 50, I mastered the art of not giving an F about what people think about me. And I've had utopia. I'm in the state of nirvana because I don't care what you think about me. Because you know what? When I was behaving, Mr. Goody Two Shoes and everything, you guys were still insulting me.
So why
I'm going to do what I want. If you insult me, I'll be like, hey, it's that's what I want to do. So it's just like now. A friend of mine, Muhammad, years ago, he used to brag to me, Muhammad Etudai, he used to brag to me and say that he knows how to do Excel. He was a wizard in Excel spreadsheets. Spreadsheets. That thing is an art. You understand? The guy, he would just come and say, hey, I don't know what to do this in.
I found a solution to it, by the way.
He'll tell me, wait. So he says, shh, don't worry. You go, The thing goes, I say, Mohammed, you're a genius. Now, ChatGPT.
let's talk about
ChatGPT. All I have to do is just go put the thing in what other random this thing and tell it, put everything on this column. I want on this row. I want this on this row. And ChatGPT in 5 seconds does what Mohammed does in 12 hours. And everything. So are you now going to blame me for going to use ChatGPT when there are a team of people, there are millions of people that have studied Excel? Only for ChatGPT to say, all right, you guys, I'll take it from here. I'll take it from here.
And
it's the same thing as surrogacy.
It's quite interesting. Yeah, I was going to say that. And I keep telling people that's how I see. That's how I see. No. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Because
it is the same thing. You know what?
Years ago,
look for an easier way to achieve what you want.
It's that simple.
That's all.
Thank you, Frank, for saying
Jesus
that.
working.
Listen.
What will Jesus do right now?
Giving you an option.
Like I said, for the purpose of this debate, I understand it. I'm not fighting it. Do you understand? But nobody really looks at the surrogate mother.
She is paid, gang.
Here's the thing, though.
She is paid. It's a business thing.
No, but hear what Gang is saying.
What is he saying?
Do you know what it takes?
It's not regulated.
Do you know what it takes?
Excuse me. What
is legal? But
what area of surrogacy do you want regulated? Are you trying to say after you've been paid and you now change your mind because you are now intimate with the zygote?
I'm on board. But what I'm saying is that for most of the surrogates, most of them are like poor. You know what I mean?
Okay, so
wait. Are you trying to
feel like they're just taking advantage of the poor girl?
No.
Here's the funny thing.
They're taking advantage of the poor girl
because they need money.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think there's an exchange of value at some point between. Yeah, there's an exchange of value, so it doesn't matter.
So if that value doesn't cover your buyer's remorse or your seller's remorse, If it doesn't cover it, you have to make sure it covers it.
But what if they're ignorant to that? You allow me to
If
we had a conversation earlier.
Yeah, we did.
No. But you can't be you can't be selectively ignorant. You can't be ignorant at the beginning and become a wise guy at the end. After collecting somebody's money.
But
no.
but here's the thing, Frank.
They need
Frank,
protection
they've been
to some
stories.
extent. You know what I
Let
mean?
me tell you. Let me tell you something. I made a
surrogates.
mistake and paid money into same account, but I paid it into same account number but a different bank for a service, and that money has gone. Nobody came to say anything. Nobody for where. Nobody has said anything about it.
God,
let me tell you.
When you can't get it, he just didn't try.
When money,
If you try like I do try, I'm gonna get my
no,
money.
I tried. I tried.
fair.
So now, let me tell you something. When money has exchanged hands, you are not being coerced. At the beginning, you are all about getting the money. Then at the end of the day, you now say, oh, I am attached to the...
No, but
You're talking about the ideal situation.
No, but Frank, this is the point I'm trying to make.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, here's the thing. If you understand what happens to a woman's body during pregnancy,
Exactly.
forget that it's a business.
Okay,
forget
cool.
that it's a transaction.
Wait, is
You
surrogacy a
collected it.
business?
Just understand?
No.
money
So
exchange
is it
hands.
ethically a business?
Ethically, very much so.
It's approved.
Two things.
Okay.
So if you understand what goes on in a woman's body in the different stages of pregnancy until birth, forget that it's a business. You'll have some sympathy on the surrogate. That she had to, here's the thing, she had to go through this because she's healthy and well, because a healthy and well woman just decided to say, I don't want to go through this stress.
I give you
Okay, did she,
On that
but
note,
was she coerced?
Fumi's still with
was
us.
she
Wasn't coerced. But
Was she
finally-
coerced?
But finally, at the same time,
She wasn't
at
coerced.
what point does the man, that us, the male, have a say?
We paid the money.
You don't have a say. That's the
No,
paid that money.
you don't have
That's
a
the
say.
point I'm trying
You
to
have
make.
before you get married, you have the conversation.
You don't have a say when you've had a discussion about certain
Okay,
things.
good, fair.
So it's about coming together and agreeing on what you want to do moving
Exactly.
forward. Now, Funmi, can you Funmi? Hello, Funmi. Hi.
Yeah.
Okay, so quickly, I want you to give us something we call just a tip, which is like something we can take away
Some
from
advice.
tonight's conversation and advice on the things that men don't know about this particular situation.
Oh, okay. Advice on women. Okay, men don't know about surrogacy or about the woman's body.
Anything in general.
Maybe one
That
nugget,
was funny.
one nugget of wisdom. to
Because
take
you know,
away.
men, we're like Jon Snow. We know nothing.
What?
We're the chosen one.
Just know, really.
Jon Snow knows nothing.
He knows everything.
Someone,
I think
Let's listen to me, please.
okay.
I think a book titled Every Woman. There's a book titled Every Woman that has to do with women's health. Men need to find out about that. And if possible, read that. And then the great thing now, the internet is there. So about the woman's menstrual cycle, the hormones, everything, our bodies, as complex as we are, that's how our bodies and our hormones are. And the way pregnancy is different for one person, it can be so much easier for one person. It can be extremely difficult for the other person. I had my son when I was younger. That incident that he was talking about, my just before I had my son, he came 6 weeks early and he had placenta previa. I was a young lady. I was in my 20s when I had my son, but I had those complications. I was bleeding, but thank God I'm here. My child is all grown now. So before men start postulating, maybe you should take the next woman beside you, your sister, your mother, and just truly find out and understand that because some people say that my mother has had 7 children and she just popped them out from her mouth and it happened. The fact that your mother could do that doesn't mean another man can do that, or doesn't even mean your sister can do that. So you need to just calm down, listen, and it's not selfish when women say they don't want to do certain things. It's just not selfish. Surely there are people that are vain, but hey, honest to God, not selfish. And then for the
that's
person
the
making the case about the
definition of
surrogate,
selfish.
so poor, and all of those things, please, they're getting value for their money. So,
Nigerian
yeah,
politicians
that's-
are selfish.
All right,
Have we
thank
died?
you, ladies
you,
and
Funmi.
gentlemen. Funmi Akinshola,
Oh, I'm going
thank you
there.
very much for joining
He
us
wants
on the
me to
Black
go
Table
there.
this
It's not my
evening. We appreciate the fact that you were a part of the show.
Thank you,
now,
Funmi.
gentlemen.
Thank you,
again,
Funmi. Thank you. Say, take care.
we need to do a toast.
No, we did a toast
No,
already.
that didn't
dude.
work. You guys kind of nullified that. So
Yeah,
we need to
okay.
do another toast so that we can wrap up the show. So,
right.
Frank, do you want to go?
What are we toasting to?
Exactly. What
Whatever
are we
you want to
toasting
toast to.
That we can all agree on,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Man,
what
that's
are we
gonna be
toasting
difficult because we've never agreed with that.
we don't agree on things
We've
here.
not been on. We've been breaking the black table since.
Bruh.
But you know what I want to toast to?
Yeah.
I want to toast to men. And the reason why I want to do that is, let me tell you, like what you said at the beginning about, women looking at the white man as their cash register. You understand? It is a problem. Let me tell you, the thing that debilitates marriages is the first thing is finance.
I agree. There's no romance without finance.
You see, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, what I want to give a toast to is the man finding himself enough to be financially independent, such that he can be able to avoid the disrespect that comes with hardships and times that you don't have money. Wow. You see a woman that you've supported through the years, and once she has money and everything, you are down in the dumps, she starts looking at you as an idiot. I'm not saying all women do that. Before you women come at me with your claws, you know. So,
but women it's not all women.
The way
they say it's not all men, it's not all women.
No. But I have to.
You need to clarify.
You need to clarify that.
Yeah.
You know, as a community. No. I know. Yeah. When I said, "Yo, women," I said, "No, calm down." I was saying a generality of women. Men should look for ways, and there are ways actually to, you know, have wealth, to even with the small you have small, we need to know how to save. We need for ourselves, and not even tell the women we are saving. You understand? Because the woman will say, okay, why can't we use from that saving and solve this problem now? Long-term savings should be what you know by yourself. You do that and you invest that in some. So there are ways to do that. I have the ways to do that, you know. But if you men, no, I can't say now because they will say I'm doing a plug. Okay, but they can contact you men.
You guys can reach out.
You men reach out. Yes, to Frank. Frank Edoho on Instagram. I am telling you, if you are wealthy, that is why an 80-year-old man can put in his will that you are not going to marry.
You ain't married nobody.
That power cannot be exhibited by a poor man. Yes. So, cheers to the men that are going through financial trouble.
Man can't be married.
I wish you success in the near future.
I'm joining you guys on this toast.
And that
joining you guys on the table
and the respect that can emanate from you still controlling the financial power of your family, that it will never dry up.
Amen to that, man.
All right.
Cheers.
Amen to
Cheers.
All right.
Cheers.
You heard it all. That was the toast of the day.
So who are we putting a baby in this weekend?
Man, I think you have personal trauma through surrogacy, because the way you have been telling me,
but he was contesting it.
He was contesting it.
Can I be honest?
Let's have your honesty.
If women could have other women go through their periods for them, they would take that.
If I was a woman, I'm gonna take it because I've seen my sister.
All right, we need to go right now. Remember, the darker the night, the brighter the stars.
Sorry, before you go, why isn't this program 2 hours by now? I thought that
coming soon.
I leave 12 o'clock.
Coming soon.
Very soon. Soon enough.
Very soon is coming.
No. I'm giving you guys 2 weeks. If by 2 weeks it's not done, I'm not coming here again.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.